What is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven, and I am here with day one of the Storybook Brawl January Championship Qualifier series. The names are always a little bit hard for me to remember with these, but this is the February tournament, end of February here. Playing for January, and I'm going to go with Celestial Tiger for this first game. I just really like Tiger on this patch. I think that it's got an overall good average placement, and I've just gotten really comfortable with its ability to get first place finishes as well. I feel like Tiger is a hero that I really understand in ladder, and in tournaments it's going to be a little bit more competitive, but I think that I can get away with playing most of the same gameplay when I play Tiger on ladder. So we're going to start by picking up a Tiny. Definitely some options there with that shot, but I figured Tiny is just as good. And I do generally like to play Dwarves on Celestial Tiger, so that is what we're going to go for. But then I see that the spell in this shop is Shard of the Ice Queen, so going to sell the Tiny so that we can pick up this Happy Little Tree, cast the Shard, and start taking down on Cinderella and getting our first doubled up tier 2 treasure. Could take the Kitty Cup Purse, but I would rather roll either for, I mean, it is good with Mad Mim. I'd rather pick up like a Black Cat though, or just some pairs potentially in the next shop because we are Celestial Tiger. So that is the plan, and the fact that this Mad Mim has +1/+1 does mean that we are going to tie this combat. So get to stay with 40 health on Tiger. That is pretty nice, and I love this pair of fannies. Like I said, I do love to play Dwarves on Celestial Tiger, but I think that this shop is so good we should just be eeny-meenying because of Cinderella. And that does mean that we get the Polywoggle. If we were able to just pick up a fanny and then purchase another fanny, I wouldn't have been locking this shop. But because we got the Polywoggle, I think that I am just going to play 2 Polywoggles here and lock these fannies because I do think that they are good enough to lock. And I'll just play both of the Polywoggles. We are going to be on 3.0 next turn, but I wouldn't mind just getting some tier 3 units out of these Celestial Tigers either way, and maybe one slays this turn, one slays next turn, something like that. We are going to get one slay. That was close. We could have hit the Frog Prince or something, but this is a high-rolling Loki that is going to hit us for some nice damage there. So first damage of the game going into 3.0. It's just unfortunate that we took so much damage because that was like all from one hit. But I'm sure, I don't know. I mean, yeah, for them to just have 7 units there, definitely a little bit unlucky. I feel like we took more damage there really than we should have. But now I'm considering just taking even more damage, and I'm going to go with this Forbidden Fruit. The big thing is grabbing you're seeing me make a lot of plays that prioritize grabbing a tier 2 treasure at the earliest possible moments. And the reason for that is that I want to find a locked chest as soon as possible. If we're going to make use of a locked chest in the tournament realm, I think that we are going to just need to get it that much faster because our opponents are going to be doing that much more powerful things. Could definitely see playing the Fanny backline or the Fanny frontline. Either way, that's pretty good, and definitely locking this shop as well. The only thing that it's missing is a good unit to cast the Sugar and Spice on, but maybe this Polywoggle could turn into a good unit. It would be absolutely wonderful for us if it attacked that Black Cat, but we've still got potentially enough stats to walk away from this one. No, okay, it was going to be close, but we are going to take a little bit of damage from my opponent and a little bit more as we attack into the Black Cat. So 7 damage, 15 damage from 2 fights is a little bit unlucky. And you know what? We do, speaking of lucky, get the Ogre Princess from the lucky trigger. You can see me there indicating that I totally forgot to buy the white before I bought the fanny. I was just excited to get the treasure, see what we were able to make out of that. And honestly, we've lost so much health at this point, I might need to just take the fairy's tale and try to get some stats on the board however we can. And then I am going to cast this sugar and spice and grab another treasure. I do think Ring of Regeneration is cool on Celestial Tiger, but I just think that Shepherd's Sling might actually save us more health in the long run by making sure that we win more combats. Like, if we lose this combat here and take 5 damage from Miri, well, that's like 2.5 turns of having the Ring of Regeneration. I think we would beat this Miri regardless, but in general, I think these extra stats could definitely prove useful. Hopefully, no. Okay, the Lucky is not going to crack. I think that's going to be a theme of this game, that the Lucky is going to... Oh, right, yeah, because we upgrade it right now. So this is going to be able to give us a Tier 3 treasure, which is pretty sweet, doubled on Celestial Tiger. And then we can also pick up the Mummy because of this Shrink Ray. And because of that, I think I'm going to take Ancient Sarcophagus. We also just got a Queen of Hearts from the Ogre Princess. So we've got a nice little Evils board building where Evil's rising. And can probably get rid of the Cindy. It's only a 6/6. You can see the Mummy in the shop is a 6/5. So that's a much better pickup. And then put the Fanny in the last position. This is an interesting choice. Do you want the white last or do you want the Fanny last? Both of the, or not the white, the Queen of Hearts last or the Fanny in position 7. And that can kind of go either way. The Fanny can potentially deal more damage to an opponent. And it's also like potentially buffing up this Lucky, which this Lucky's big right now. So this ordering seems pretty straightforward, but there's actually some peculiarities to it as well. But hopefully we can win this with this double Ancient Sark plus a pretty large board for this point in the game. And my opponent's got double Queen, but nothing else besides that. And this looks like it is going to be a win. I don't think these Queen of Hearts are going to get quite big enough, which is pretty good. Facing up against the lobby leader right now and about to beat them. I guess they're tied with Wonder Waddle, if you want to call them the lobby leader. They've both taken 6 damage, but still feels pretty good to defeat, which is effectively the lobby leader. And Tweedle was definitely a big hit. That is what we were looking for with this comp and with Celestial Tiger, but also on this board specifically with the Sporko and the Tweedle. Or the Sporko and the Fanny. It's just very good to slot a Tweedle into there. Now I'm thinking about if I can get away with a Greedy, but I'm also thinking, is that just greedy? We are playing up against a Share Bear, so maybe I shouldn't be running it. And I do have to consider also, like with the Ancient Sarcophagus, should I be playing this Princess White? Because it is just an evil unit. Should I even be playing this like Monster Book? But the thing is, you have to think about how many stats the Princess White actually represents. I think that it represents more than a 7/11, which is what the Greedy is, but I don't think it represents more than like the Lucky. So I think like we're up against Share Bear, we're going to be getting some gold from them. I should play into the Ancient Sarcophagus, which is really powerful, and then Princess White is also giving +2/+2 to the Queen of Hearts. Queen of Hearts? Wow, that's voice just cracking a little bit there, but that effectively makes it an 8/10, so it's about the same stats as Greedy, and then when you factor in the Ancient Sark triggers, it winds up being a little bit bigger. But then my opponent has both Ring of Meteors and Falling Stars, so definitely regretting not having that Greedy in. I mean, how could I have known? But was definitely a little bit salty about that one, kind of wishing that White was a Greedy, because obviously it didn't matter after the you know, for the most part, and I would have loved to just had 2 extra gold going into this turn. Merlin's Test on the Tweedle would be a lot of stats, but I think I want to roll, try to buy some dwarves, try to spend some cash on some dwarves. We could use the Mask Ball to see 2 5s this turn, but I do think, oh wow, I go for that. Okay, I didn't remember that part of the game, and I guess it's because I didn't pick anything up. And then kind of regretted not being able to cast this Wish Upon a Star here. I would have loved to have cast that. We're really strong at this point in the game. Just beat the, you know, the lobby leader followed by the Share Bear. I do feel like we are pretty strong and would have loved to convert that into a lead on like units, which is why I went for the Mask Ball, but I would have loved to take the Wish Upon a Star as well. I just couldn't lock and wait around and do nothing this turn and then cast the Wish Upon a Star next turn. That's like spending 11 gold on Wish Upon a Star. That would have been too much. We can activate white right now, and that is something that I'm going to try to realize this last second. I don't really want to replace these treasures necessarily this second, but we can sell the golden chicken, pick up the tiny, and at least get a second to view our choices. And we find treasure map, so I'm just going to hang on to this treasure map for a moment. And now we'll look for a tier 7 treasure because that treasure map is doubled. So that's the plan. This is a pretty big Sphinx, though we are definitely still going to win. I'm probably going to get rid of this Shepherd's Sling, though. I could also get rid of Fairy Tale. Honestly, it's a tough call. I do think I'm getting rid of the Shepherd's Sling at this point, but it looks like I am considering the Fairy Tale. Basically, we're going to be not losing some power on the board, but we're going to be now really prioritizing trying to grab a level 3 treasure. So I think I want to hang on to the Sling because it's just going to give us the most on-board power, which will potentially give us the time to roll into a tier 7 treasure with this treasure map. So that is kind of the idea that we are going with. And we pick up a Mummy pair and a Queen of Hearts pair. Definitely some interesting directions that we could go into, like if we find a... what are we looking for? If we find a Mirror, that's the name of the treasure. Mirror plus Ancient Sarcophagus on Celestial Tiger is really, really good. You wind up throwing out a ton of mummy missiles over the course of the game, and Sark triggers is what I meant to say, but also mummy missiles as I think about, or I guess I was just looking which mummy was bigger, but the one mummy has not received the buff from the whatever it was called. Fairy Tale. Apologies. This Wonder Waddle already has Hat Ball plus a Spear of Achilles, looking pretty big, looking pretty scary, actually. And I think they're going to be a tough opponent for us to take down. Our Queen of Hearts is not super good. Like it didn't grow that much. So, yeah, this one's not looking great for us. We do get some gold from my opponent's prized pig, but we are going to be taking some damage here as well. We take 16 damage down to 7, and yeah, it's just kind of unfortunate how some of these combats have worked out this game. We have just taken a bunch of damage from losing 3 specific combats, basically. So... definitely a little bit annoying. But what's not annoying is getting to pick up Magic Sword. That's one of the treasures that I'm definitely looking for when I am playing Celestial Tiger. Magic Sword on Tweedledee is just going to give us a whole bunch of stats. It means that we can probably spin this gold here, but I decide against it. Now I want to buy that XP. I rolled past some XP earlier, but I'd really love to purchase some XP and hit level 6 before the rest of the lobby. And at this point, probably stick with the dwarves, but really, I don't need to spend any coin on units right now. I can spend all my coin on trying to, as I spend 5 coin on a unit. I guess I forgot that I picked up an Angry. but I can spend some time, yeah, because I don't even think it's worth playing here. Like, I guess you could play it over the Queen of Hearts. I'm not even sure that it's better. Really, you just want to be focused on finding XP at this with this lead at this point in the game. So an interesting build here from Loki. They just got dragons and wombats and other good stuff. But that's what I was trying to say, that with the magic sword, I don't think that we can really lose for a little bit. So we should, though, I mean, this gets like kind of close, right? The fact that they took out the Sporko means we had a little bit less health on that thing as well. And yeah, just going to hope to try to find some XP this turn, then we'll be 6 next turn. Riverwash Mermaids are certainly compelling in some capacity, really just because there's a pair of them there, though. I don't think that that's what we're going into. Oh, that's what I was going to say, is like, yeah, what like build we'd want to play with. We really do have the option to either go into an evil comp or a dwarf comp, really, from here. Both of those things we are decently well set up for still. And then do think I'm going to look to pick up this golden chicken. The reason being that that will give us some more econ into the next turn, where it looks like now at this point, next turn I want to hit 6. Okay, well, maybe we can find some XP yet. So now I'll sell off one of these golden chickens and the end something. And it's probably just Queen of Hearts. I really don't care about tier 3 treasures at this point. We have Ancient Sarcophagus. We have Shepherd's Sling, but we also have our tier 7 treasure, and we already have our treasure map. That's what I was trying to get to. So we really don't need more tier 3 treasures at this point. We really don't even need to be Celestial Tiger, other than, I mean, the double Sark is nice, but you see I'm like debating even if I can use it because I don't have that much evil stuff going on. Like, potentially, I'm glad that my opponent, by the way, did not steal with the Siren, my Tweedle. That would have been really scary, but they actually do have an Oni King, so they're getting a decent amount of stats, and everything is attacking my magic sword here, and then, like, my other units don't quite have the stats to deliver, and some slightly bad combat RNG actually means that we take 8. And if we had not ended that Queen of Hearts, we would have been at 0. So pretty scary that things even got that close, because I thought that we were pretty powerful, but just Magic Sword isn't going to be enough to win a tournament lobby. On the ladder, a lot of times you like do that and then you're like, all right, GG's, let's go next. But in a tournament lobby, these players came to play, and a few of them were taking names before we even got here. So we are able to pick up a Lordy thanks to our XP. And now I'm feeling pretty strong again. So I'm going to play full dwarves, and then I'm going to have Fanny support the Tweedle and the Angry, and just try to get a little bit more stats onto the Angry. This is a hat ball. Oh, okay. I decide to not support the Angry. So this is a hat ball spear Wonder Waddle. And, I mean, for glory here seems fine. We got it off of a Genie's Wish anyways, but could be, I mean, a tier 6 unit could be good. There's definitely some good, like if we can find an Echo Wood or something like that, or obviously more Lordies, that would be awesome. A little bit afraid to play up against this Wonder Waddle, but we are significantly more powerful since the last time we saw them with the Magic Sword, and then also this Lordy that we just purchased, and looks like in combination those are going to be enough to let us win. But if that Sure Shot hit our Magic Sword user, or even if it still does, it is going to be able to take out our Magic Sword. So that's 2 times in 2 combats where my opponents have destroyed our Magic Sword, and everything except for my Lucky died. So a little bit unlucky, but a little bit lucky. We see a Knighthood for Lordy, and we actually get a pretty reasonable unit for Glory. We spent 1 and got a Hercules, so if we can grab a tier 6 treasure out of this, that would be really sweet. And I am also thinking, excuse me, just need to catch my breath for a second. Apologies. I'm also thinking that with this knighthood, we are strong enough that I don't need to play a full board of dwarves. I can get away with playing this Hercules, especially against this Loki. I think this Loki is the weakest player in this lobby, and I want to make sure that the next time we play this Wonder Waddle, they're probably going to be stronger. Wonder Waddle now has the option with Aeon to potentially toss their hat, and that means that they could start to play another treasure, and they're also just going to have scaling every single turn because they're hat balling. So I want to make sure that I am grabbing a tier 6 treasure while we still can, while this Loki is still in the lobby, and then I'm going to have to play against Sharebear next turn. But we are considerably more powerful against this Loki and should be able to take them out here. Let's see, the Tweedle, are they even? Yeah, we're going to get 2 hits on the Hercules as well. That's pretty sweet. So we're 2/5 of the way through this treasure. I'm not sure we'll have time to complete the Hercules treasure, but we should get pretty close. Unfortunately, we only hit the Loki for 15, so we put them down to 1. Now we're up against this Sharebear again, but still time before we play against the Wonder Waddle because the Wonder Waddle did not take the Sharebear out. I was actually expecting the Sharebear to die, and for Wonder Waddle to then be like, maybe we get the bye and Wonder Waddle faces Loki, or I honestly thought that we were going to kill the Loki, Wonder Waddle was going to be the Sharebear, and then I'd have to square up against the Wonder Waddle again. But no, the Sharebear actually makes it out of that one. We roll a bunch, kind of talking over that, but there weren't any dwarves in the shop, and then there were. So we could pick up the Lordy here, or we could pick up the Tweedle here. It's just a matter of like which one is right to pick up now, and what do I want to sell, because like might I potentially play this Lucky? And I feel like I might if I triple the doubly, but I'm just going to ignore that for right now, and still going to play the Hercules. I think with picking up another Lordy, we can get away with that. And I will throw in this doubly, though, to that'll grow bigger than the Angry will. And we'll see how this one goes. And they are Jormungand comp and actually have an upgraded Jormungand, upgraded Baba Yaga. Yeah, this is actually not great. And we lose. And I tried to do some of the math. I think that we would have lost this one if the combat RNG went the exact same. I think we lose this one even if I played the Angry and the Tweedle, or like just played the Tweedle over the Hercules. But definitely feels awkward to lose this one there. You can see we did still have a chance to win it. 12%, I think, is just representing the fact that we could have attacked first and our Tweedle could have attacked their Jormungand. I'm surprised that this isn't higher because I feel like if Tweedle attacks their Lance, I feel like that's also a win. But maybe their Lance was too big. Was it bigger than 109 health at the start of the fight? I guess it must have been. Let's see. Their Lance starts with... Oh, okay, 126. Oh, but this is at 145, right, because of doubly. So I'm surprised that if this attacks here, but obviously if it just hits this, that is not going to be good enough, and then the Lance gets to grow the Jormungand again. Maybe the chances then of the Jormungand attacking into the Tweedle would have been so small, but still, this was a pretty disappointing way to start the tournament. Can't be too upset with 4th. Can't be too upset with having your plan come together as far as the magic sword is concerned, but it felt like a lot of things really went right, but we still couldn't find a win in this one, and that made it a pretty sad game for me, but still a decent performance. If the way that the tournaments work now, you basically have to get 3rd place every game. And so for that, it also was a little bit sad that we were unable to take out the Loki as well. But one thing in hindsight, and I kind of touched on it here, but definitely in the moment when we're looking at this. Oops, sorry. So right before we play up against the Loki, we just played up against the Wonder Waddle, and I really was thinking that the Wonder Waddle was going to be our finals opponent. And then jump ahead to right here. The baby bear, or what's this called? Share Bear. The Share Bear tied the Wonder Waddle because they're both still at 13. That should have been the clue to me that this Share Bear is stronger than it appears. Now, could I have made myself that much stronger? Like, there's no way that I can afford this knighthood this turn, so there's no way that I can get that much more powerful. We can sell 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 worth of gold, so that's not going to afford this knighthood, but maybe putting in the Tweedle gives us a little bit more stats. I mean, not much, right? Tweedle and then like move Fannies over here or something. I feel like that's still not enough to win, so I'm not beating myself up too much for this loss, but it is certainly disappointing to have so much cool stuff come together and then still only get 4th for a game like that. But that is game 1 of the January Championship Series Qualifier Tournament, and I'll be back with some more games. One more video later on today, and then 2 more videos tomorrow, just talking about day 1 stuff. That's going to be it for me for this video. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace.